And your ego is going to be the first to answer. We don't want the ego answer. We want the honest answer. So the first answer that pops into your mind, don't even attach to it. Pause for a minute and be like, let me actually think about this. So the first question is, are you a Karen? Are you a Karen? Because if you plan on living abroad, if you want to move abroad from the United States and you got those Karen tendencies, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to move abroad and be sorely disappointed. Because that whole, oh, well, I don't like this, I'm just going to return it. I didn't like this food, send it back to the waiter. Oh, can I order my food this way? I want to get that combo, but I want to switch this and this. That shit is not going to fly whenever you are abroad. Okay, I've traveled to 24 different countries and I'm telling you, that is not a thing. It is not a thing. All these like tiny things that are something that is, let's say like you're really nitpicky about, they don't care. And please do not add to the embarrassment that we already have to deal with as US Americans that travel and act like fools. Please do not go add to the reason the United States has such a bad reputation. Please don't be the spoiled little brat to go to another country and throw a fit because you don't get your way. Because there are a lot of people who are from the United States like me who are actively trying to show that we are not all like that. There are so many people in the US like me who travel and we try to show that like, hey, we respect your culture. We respect we respect your customs. Do not leave the United States and then expect to move in a different country and get the United States. If you love everything about living in the US, maybe there's just like a couple things you're like, but other than that, listen, consider if you actually want to live abroad, because there are so many tiny conveniences you wouldn't even think about that we get in the United States that do not happen abroad. I'm talking even like simple things. Like if you order from DoorDash, you're in like an apartment or a hotel, they're not coming up, y'all. You got to go downstairs and get it. Like I literally remember being shocked the first time that this was in 2019. I remember being shocked. I think I was in Peru. That's where I was. I was in Peru in 2019 and I placed an Uber Eats order. And I remember like the driver was like, I've arrived. And I was like, what you mean? You're not at the door? What you talking about? I had to go downstairs and get my food. And I know that seems like a small, stupid thing, but I want you to understand that those types of things happen all the time. You know, whenever you're out to eat and the server is like always coming by like, hey, can I get you a refill? You know, can I check on you? Or they're checking on you all the time. It's not like that in a lot of countries abroad. Now, I'm not saying that no one will ever come by and check on you, but like they don't hassle you like they do. I mean, it feels like a hassle to me now because now I'm so used to being abroad. When I'm in the US and people are constantly coming by, like I'm like, can you please go away and leave me the hell alone? But I get it, right? That's just culturally, that's how we are. So really ask yourself, are you a Karen? Are you somebody? Are you can I speak to the manager? Are you, well, that's just not going to fly for me. Oh, if something happens and you know, you're in an Uber and the tire goes flat and the guy tries to start changing his own tire, are you going to flip out? This is a true story. This happened to me and my husband in Brazil. We were on the way to the Brazilian airport. We were on the way to the airport in Rio. I'm not even kidding. I'm literally not even kidding, y'all. We're already running late and we get a flat tire. And we're over here like, okay, we need to call another Uber. And the guy's like, no, 5 minutes. And in less than 5 minutes, that Uber driver changed his tire. And we still made it to the airport on time. Like we were like, these types of situations sound kind of wild, but when you have traveled, you get a lot more used to just wild stuff like this happening, okay? Like if you go somewhere and, you know, they tell you to, you know, like go sit at a table and maybe it hasn't been wiped down yet, what you gonna do? You can refuse the table, sure. But you're not about to sit here and make a scene and be like, you need to wipe this table down, blah, blah, blah. Like, what you talking about? In a lot of countries abroad, you can't even use public restrooms without paying. Now, is it expensive? No. But that's also obviously not something that we're used to. So if you are a Karen and, you know, you're out and about and you go somewhere and you try to use the restroom and they hand out their hand, pay or leave. Don't start going off on nobody. Don't start talking about how it's so ridiculous if you go to certain places and they don't have AC. Understand, you left your home country to come here. You don't get to come here and complain about the way that they do things. If you want somewhere where every single place you go, there's gonna be AC, and bring your own tissue. That's on period, Jayla. Bring your own tissue, because baby, A, they might not have it, and B, you might have to pay for that too. You might have to pay to use the bathroom, and then you might have to also pay for toilet paper. These things might sound crazy if you are someone who's not that well traveled yet, but these things happen. And you need to really ask yourself, are these things that you can turn into minor inconveniences like I have? Or are you already over there making a stank face? Because if you're already over there making a stank face, you probably need to stay your butt in the United States. Uber Eats leave everything downstairs. They are not mandated to bring upstairs, just to the address. Well, I tell you right now, Barbara, when I drove for Uber Eats in the United States, whenever I delivered to a hotel, I went all the way up to the hotel room. Thanks for the insight. You are so welcome. Many Americans forget life exists outside of here. 100%. Thank you, Braveheart, for the rose. I appreciate you. Thank y'all for the hearts too. Please continue to double tap. Thank you so much for the roses. So again, ask yourself, before you go and uproot your entire life from the United States to go live in another country, are you about that life? Or do you like your cushy little life in the US where everything is at the click of a button? Y'all, I can literally remember we were in Mexico most recently. We were in Merida, and we got this food delivered, right? And so and we'd eaten here before. Long story short, it was supposed to come with 3 side items. The last time we ordered it, it did not come with the last side item. Like, what were we gonna do? What are we gonna do? I mean, yeah, you can reach out to customer service, and this wasn't through Uber, this is through a different app. Like, you can reach out to customer service, and one time that did happen, and they did give me like a partial refund, but I want you to understand, these types of things happen, and then you just gotta deal with them. You just have to deal with them. I remember we were in Tulum, and we were at this super touristy, super overpriced restaurant. And y'all know those dinners where it's like there's a minimum, but it's like somebody's birthday, so you're annoyed, but you just gotta do what you gotta do. Like, I can remember, y'all, this food was terrible. It was terrible. And it was a popular restaurant because it was where the tourists went. That food didn't taste anything like Mexican food. Like, it was horrible. And our minimum was $60. Y'all, I can't remember what I ordered. Oh my God. I don't remember what I ordered. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I didn't like it. And I knew my minimum was $60, and I didn't like it. And the guy came over, and I told him because he saw me kind of push it away. And then I told him I didn't really like it. And he was like, well, I can bring you something else. Y'all, they brought me the nastiest salad I ever had in my entire life. You know what I did? I paid $60 for a nasty salad I did not eat. Because what else was I going to do? Literally, what else was I going to do? I'm just letting you know, these things, they seem like they are small, but just keep in mind before you go abroad that it's like in the US, it's very much like Burger King. It's very much like have it your way. It's not like that when you go abroad, okay? So don't take your entitled ass to wherever country you're thinking about with that mentality. I know it's Swedish. Do you mind sharing the best places for POC in your experience? That's a good question, A-Love. So, well, what do you mean by the best places? Because I try to shy away from anything where it's the best, because at the end of the day, you did say in your experience, you're asking for my opinion. So, I mean, for me, I would say the best places for me being a person of color has nothing to do with safety. I have felt safe in every country that I have been to. There was never a situation where I felt unsafe because I was Black outside of the United States. The United States is the only country I've been in where I felt in danger because I was Black. That's never happened to me anywhere else. Now I have felt targeted as a tourist, right? Someone's going to try to scam me, or they're going to charge more. Of course, that's going to happen. But I've never been in any country where I felt unsafe because I was Black. As far as the best places, and from my experiences, were places where there were other Black Americans there. Black people from the US, because if I'm going to be somewhere for a long period of time, I be missing Black culture. So, I've been some places where let's take Vietnam, for example. There, I didn't discover the African community until I was already about to leave. But in Vietnam, I didn't really hang out with a lot of Black people who were living there, right? But then I went to Thailand. Actually, I went to Bali, but we're skipping over that. Then I went to Thailand, and in Thailand there was such a huge community of Black people. So I would say like Thailand, Colombia, and Mexico are the top 3 countries that I've been to where I've had the best experiences as someone who is a Black woman, because I was able to, like, during my time there, while I was also able to immerse myself in the local culture of Mexico and Colombia and Thailand, I was also able to have a piece of home with me because there was a community of Black people out there. Keeping it real since I've been following you. Oh, thank you. I try, y'all. I really do. Thank y'all so much for the hearts. All right. And remember, y'all, for anybody who is interested in moving abroad, if you are like, I want to do this, Bianca, but I need help and I just do not know where to start. I want to do this, but I have a lot of questions. I need answers. I literally create resources based on the questions that y'all ask me. And my Move Abroad bundle, I just put it back in my bio just for the time that I am live. If you want to take advantage, you can take an additional 50% off with the promo code ABROAD2025. It's at the link in my bio for anybody who is just now joining. And feel free to ask me any questions y'all have about the bundle. Second question. Actually, I think I want to change this question. Actually, no, I'm going to leave it. Second question is, you're so welcome, K Price. I lived in Thailand for 2.5 years. Yes, what part of Thailand are you in? Oh, I miss Thailand so much. It's like impossible to not miss Thailand when you leave. It's like always on your brain. Honestly, it's such an incredible country. I want to do it where I can house sit in different countries. What do you suggest? I suggest trusted house sitters. Oh, and get paid. I don't know. Because trusted house sitters doesn't pay. Because the payment, in theory, is like you're getting free accommodations. So like I don't know any house sits that actually pay. I only use trusted house sitters. I have now on trusted house sitters. It's so rare that I've seen it, but I have seen some house sits where people will offer like a stipend. But again, like that's the exception and not the rule. But yeah, I'm doing a house sit right now. I'm in North Carolina. I'm doing a house sit right now. This is my 6th one. I've done 5 here in North Carolina, and I've also done 1 in Mexico. And we're planning on applying. Yeah, I'm doing one right now. We're planning on applying to a couple this year as well. Hello, Angela. Speaking of house sits, Angela is somebody who learned about house sitting right here, I think on TikTok Live, and she did a house sit in London. I'm still so excited for you for that. Like, that's just so dope. I see you in here in my travels. She's done many house sits in London as well. In my travels has been doing house sitting a lot longer than me as well. But hello, Carmen, for anybody who is interested in house sitting, I do also have a link in my bio for trusted house sitters where you can take 25% off your annual membership. And I also have videos on my YouTube channel if you want to learn more about trusted house sitters. I'm Levi Emerson. I want to get you on my podcast. Wait, did we talk before? Are you the person who said that you reached out to me about a podcast and I didn't respond? Because I really do not think I got that message. But yeah, for sure. Like, send me a DM on here. Or if you follow me on Instagram, DMs on TikTok. I mean, I can DM on TikTok, but I feel like they're a lot easier on Instagram. But I'm on Instagram too. But yeah, send me a DM and let's talk about your podcast. Period, Angela. Sorry, I'm trying to just keep up. I am good. How are you? Angela, are you still doing the house sit in California? Hubby can come to the podcast. Yeah, I appreciate that, but not likely. Y'all know my husband is an introvert. Y'all see whenever me and Mel be here on live, he be like, this how he be in the camera. I be like, babe, get in the camera. You could be the first interviewee. Hey, let's get it. For someone who's never traveled abroad but has a passport, are there programs to join that take you? That's a really great. Oh, you're already in California. I'm sorry, I'm reading multiple comments at once. How's the house sit? Angela actually got invited. She didn't even reach out and apply. She got invited to do this house sit in California. I would love to do a house sit in California because I love Cali, but paying them Cali prices, You're going to have to give me a house sit to get me out there. Maybe not, but I don't know. We'll see. I might be in Cali next year. We'll talk about it later. Yes, A Love Entertainment. That's actually number 5 on the list. But since you're here, I'll go ahead and answer it now. 3 weeks Lux house sit in London coming up, period. What do I like to eat or drink? What you mean? Like in general? That question just completely threw me off guard. Y'all, I eat anything. I mean, I'll drink. I mean, I don't know if we're talking like alcohol or not. I mean, I drink socially. I'm not like a huge drinker. I love a little bubbly, but like snack on a podcast. I don't eat on podcasts because I'm too busy talking. Sometimes I be hungry over here and I be like, I need to eat and I can't eat because I never shut up. I ain't gonna have time to snack on a podcast. Easy program where they take you on a tour. Okay, so A-Love Entertainment. So yeah, I'm gonna switch questions number 2 and 5 so I can answer this question. So the second question that I want you to consider if you're interested in moving abroad and living abroad is, how well traveled are you? If you are somebody who wants to move abroad from the US and you have only traveled to a resort in Cancun, or you have only been on a cruise to Jamaica, you really need to reconsider picking up your entire life and moving to another country. And I posted a video about this like 2 days ago here on my page from an interview that I did, and with a woman who we were having the same conversation. Thank you so much for the roses, Angela. Listen, if you are somebody who has not actually traveled, and when I say travel, I mean you've been on the ground. You walked out of your wherever it is you were staying and you looked to the left and the right and you did not speak the language. I'm not talking about you staying in a hotel. Thank you so much for the gifts, y'all. I'm not talking about you staying in a hotel where, you know, you got the receptionist or the, what are they called? The front desk to help you with everything that you need. You can just call down whenever you got a question. That's not what I'm talking about. When I say have you lived abroad, no, I'm sorry. When I say have you traveled, I mean, do you know what it feels like to be in a place and you look around and you're the only person who speaks English? Do you know what it's like to cook in another country? Do you know what it's like to go grocery shopping in another country? Do you know what it's like to do laundry in another country? Spoiler alert, not everybody has dryers. Let me go ahead and put that out there too, okay? Not everybody has a dryer. So if you are already thinking like, I'm not hanging no clothes up, you might want to stay in the US, okay? Well, that's a little dramatic. There are places that do have dryers, but I'm gonna let you know right now, it's not the most common thing, okay? That was something that threw me for a loop as well. So whenever I say have you traveled, I am referring to have you actually experienced what it could be like to live in another country? Have you been somewhere where you were actually engaging and interacting with other locals? I ain't talking about the people who just go to the resort and then you just get drunk with other Americans for 5 days and then go back home. Listen, at the end of the day, that's your prerogative, that's your prerogative. But I'm telling you, don't go to the Rio in Mexico and be like, oh my God, I love this resort, I want to move to Mexico. You don't know nothing about Mexico, baby. You don't know nothing about Mexico if all you did was go stay at the Rio Resort for 5 days. You don't know anything about Jamaica. You don't know anything about Montego Bay if all you did was take a cruise there and you were on the beautiful beach for 5 hours and you got back on the boat. You have no idea what it will be like to live abroad. So if you have never traveled outside of the US, I do not recommend moving abroad yet. My recommendation is to get a taste of moving abroad. And for those of you who are serious, I talked about this earlier, but my Move Abroad bundle at the link in my bio, I spent an entire day. I have an entire video where I talked about different ways that you can test out living abroad. One example is trusted house sitters. So if you are someone who's interested in living abroad, go do a house sit. And I mean, there are house sits all over the world, but obviously you can't force them. So for example, like if you know that you want to move to this very specific town in Costa Rica, right? Like they may not have a house sit there, but if you want to get the experience in general of what it's like to live in another country, trusted house sitters is a great way to do it, especially if you like animals, only if you like animals. Now, there are some house sits that don't have pets, but I personally tell people I wouldn't pay to sign up for it because it really is more of the exception and not the rule. But if you don't mind taking care of pets, trusted house sitters is a great way to do it, because if you are going to stay, let's just use London as let's not use London because they speak English there. Let's say you're going to stay in, let's say you're going to stay in Mexico City, right? Let's say there's a house sit there for a week, 2 weeks, whatever it is. You are going to be staying somewhere where the locals are, right? Like you are going to be in a home that is at least somewhat traditional, right? Of like what you can expect if you want to live in Mexico City. You're going to be doing your laundry. You're going to be going to the grocery store. You're going to be engaging with other locals by default, unless, assuming you're not just going to stay in the house the entire time. So trusted house sitters is a great way to do that. You can also do actual scouting trips. There are companies that offer scouting trips. The one that I always recommend is Expatsy. That's EXPATSI. Basically the word expat and then SI on the end. So Expatsy is a company that they literally show like US citizens how to move abroad. I can't even tell you how many resources they have. I just spoke at their conference last month. Yeah, in May. Like I just spoke at a conference for them. And I'm actually I mean, they're a partner of mine, so like I do a lot of stuff with them. I did their scouting trip in Merida, Mexico in February, and it's really dope because you get to actually travel with another group of people, where you travel with a group of people who are also interested in moving to that place, and they show you different neighborhoods. They show you, you know, a local market or a local grocery store. Like they essentially show you what life will be like, and you get to hear this from somebody who already lives there. So you can do a scouting trip that you pay for, where you actually have someone who has an organized itinerary, or you can make your own scouting trip. Now, I will say that type of travel can be intimidating if you've never traveled abroad. Before I traveled like that, sort of the first time I traveled, I actually did travel that way, but it was still for work. So I was still immersed in the local culture, but I had traveled to that country for my job. But outside of that, I did cruises and resorts first. Like before I actually went and had a travel experience that was similar to living abroad. And this was in 2019, where I lived abroad for 4 months in 4 different countries. That was the first time my eyes really got open to living abroad. And I'm telling you, like, I was like, I mean, I can't even, like, just the shock. I mean, it sounds so silly, so stupid, but as somebody who didn't grow up with money, I didn't grow up around people who were traveling and stuff. Like, I literally just remember being like, holy moly, donut shop. This is crazy. I'm really out here doing my laundry in Chile. I'm like walking to a co-working space here in Peru. I'm in Medellin, Colombia, you know, talking to these Colombians who are trying to learn English at this language exchange, right? Like there's such a huge difference, and it's something that is so important, because if we go back to the first question I asked about not being a Karen, listen, it's a lot easier to be a Karen if you've only done all-inclusive things. It's a lot easier to be a Karen, even unintentionally, if you don't know what it's like to be abroad in another country where everything is not handed to you on a platter. You got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to be willing to talk to people who may not speak the same language as you. You got to be willing to get lost. Yes, I've been places where me and my husband didn't know where we were exactly, and our phones were not working. Okay? You got to ask yourself, is that the kind of situation that you can handle right now? Maybe right now you can't, but maybe that's something you can work your way up to. I say this all the time, y'all. Travel is a skill. The more that you travel, the more you become accustomed to these things. If I was lost somewhere now in another country, I mean, assuming I'm not somewhere where I feel, you know, in danger, like I honestly, like I wouldn't even panic, because it's literally happened to me so many times, being out of the country and like my phone just deciding to not have service, and like, you know, there's no Wi-Fi around. I'm just like, okay, you know, we'll figure this out. Like it happens. But let me see what your actual question was, because I want to make sure that I answered it. Have a great day, Angela. An easy program where they take you on a tour. So yeah, if you want them to take you on a tour, then I would do Expatsy. Best site and package to get while house sitting. So, like I said, I use Trusted House Sitters. You said the package. I did the premium one because the premium one comes with the insurance. I don't think Angela's in here anymore, because I was going to ask her. I don't even know. I don't know which one she got. But I did the premium one. But even if you do the basic package, you can still apply to as many houses as you want. So I feel like even if you wanted to start with the basic, that would be fine. And the Trusted House Sitters link is in my bio. I had a dryer in London, but they don't use it. I had to hang my clothes for the first time ever. See what I mean? I remember having to do that in Colombia. Like they had, in Colombia, it was actually the first time I ever stayed somewhere where there was no AC. And you might not believe this, but there are actually places where you don't even need AC. And I would not have believed this if I didn't travel. I promise you. I would not have believed it. I speak Spanish. Me too. I try to be resourceful. I really do. I'm in Colombia now. Yes. Which part of Colombia? It's in your link. The Trusted House Sitters, Trusted House Sitters is in my bio. And then also the Move Abroad bundle. For anybody who is new here and you want to move abroad and you need help, get the Move Abroad bundle while it's in my bio, because it's only going to be in there while I'm live. And don't forget the promo code ABROAD of 2025 to take out that additional 50%. All right, so let me come back. So hold on, let me cross these out because I'm wondering the ones I did. Okay, yeah. So let me get into number 3. Okay, yeah. Let me know if you have any questions about Trusted House Sitters. I'm happy to provide tips as well. I'm actually planning on creating like a guide on how to get your first international house sit. It just has not happened yet. Do you use Canva for your books? Yes, I do. Love Canva. I'm a Canva girly. All right. So question number 3: how bougie are you? Drop in the comments on a scale of 1 to 10. Let's be honest. How bougie are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Thank y'all for the hearts. Because, listen, there are some times when you think that you are going somewhere, you're going to get a certain experience, the way it's marketed, the way it's presented, and it's not going to be the same thing that you get in the United States. For example, I remember when I was in Egypt and we had taken a train from, I want to say it was Luxor to Cairo. Don't quote me. This was too long ago now. I want to say it was Luxor to Cairo. Y'all, we had first class tickets. Y'all, that plane was ratchet as hell. That plane was ratchet and it was first class. I also stayed at what was considered a luxury resort in Luxor, which is kind of funny. The names are not related. It just happens to be, the city just happens to be called Luxor. But yeah, I stayed at what was considered to be a luxury resort in Luxor, Egypt. And like, it was fine. But if you would have been in the US and you would have walked in there and they would have been calling that luxury, you would have been like, nah. That happens. That happens. Understand that the style, the aesthetic, the decor, the way you see apartments, right? The way like the kitchen is set up, all of these things, every country, they have their own style of this. So we as Americans from the United States, we have a way of looking at something and being like, well, this is what's nice. Well, this is what's first class. Well, this is what is luxury. But just keep in mind, luxury is not the same across the board. There are countries out there and luxury for them might be different. There are countries out there where luxury for them is having running water. Y'all, like those are just the facts. Those are just the facts. And I know there's obviously a lot of controversy and thoughts and questions out there about, you know, traveling to countries that whose dollar or whose currency is a lot weaker than the dollar. But baby, I'm gonna tell you, those are the places where I've had the most incredible travel experiences. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. So ask yourself, are you someone who is like, oh, well, yeah, I want to live abroad, but I want to live abroad, but, and then you have all of these things that fall under the United States American standard, because if that is the case, you might want to reconsider. Or you want to at least consider a place where you can find something similar to what you like, but don't expect it to look like this. Like, I remember, y'all, in Bangkok, Thailand, like discovering that having a stove was just like not really a thing. Like, you would have to like actually really look for an apartment that has a full stove if you're in Bangkok. We did have a stove whenever we were in Phuket, but when we were in Bangkok, we did not. Waiting on my visa for Vietnam, period. Oh my God, that Vietnam visa process was a hot mess for me. Hopefully it's a lot better for you. Thank y'all so much for the hearts. So ask yourself, how bougie are you? Are you so used to a certain standard that the thought of those standards changing, is that something that you can handle? I even think about, and this isn't, of course, this is not everywhere in the U.S. I mean, and this isn't going to be everywhere in the countries you visit either. But y'all, I'm telling you, I've been in some ratchet bathrooms abroad, okay? Remember earlier we talked about how a lot of bathrooms you got to pay to get in. Don't think just because you pay to get in, it's going to be a nice bathroom. Because some of the bathrooms I have paid to get in have been the places that you probably couldn't pay me to go back to. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I look back on some of the places I've been and I'd be like, woo! Bianca, you was out there. Okay, you was out there. And I would say on a scale of 1 to 10 for bougie, I'm probably like a 7. I'm definitely above average. 10%. 100%. I'm definitely above average. But I'm not. But like travel has made me less bougie because I have seen, because I've been able to experience so many incredible things in these places that would be considered garbage in the US, if we're just being really honest. Hopefully I get approved. When do you leave? I mean, as long as you got time. Are you back in the States? Yeah, I'm in the US now. I'm actually waiting on my passport, my new passport. I forgot to post in my stories. I actually just found out last night that my new passport is officially shipped. I am so excited. I just learned you actually can't even travel with your old passport. Because I was like, well, if it don't come in time, I'll just use my old one. And I looked it up and I was like, nah, if you have a new passport on the way, you cannot do that. Oh, okay, you have August. Okay, yeah, so you should have enough time. Like, even if there is like something that happens, like for us, they said there was like a spelling wrong in our name, which there wasn't. That was a whole other conversation. I was annoyed. But yeah, that's the third question that you want to ask yourself. How bougie are you? Because if you want all of the things that happen in the United States, or not even that happen, if you want the standard of life in the United States, if there are certain things that you're not willing to let go of, you need to reconsider if you actually want to live abroad. Okay, question number 4, and this actually is a little bit similar to the previous question, but are you willing to learn a new language? Now, granted, there are countries that speak English, right? Like you can go to countries where English is one of the native languages, somewhere like Canada or South Africa or Jamaica. Like there are countries where English is the native language, but not, London or the UK. But a lot of the countries that I hear people wanting to go to, I want to go to Spain, I want to go to Portugal, I want to go to Thailand, I want to go to Mexico. These places all sound cool, but baby, understand, y'all speak 2 different languages. So what are you going to do about that? Are you going to move to another country and just be a gringo, which is a term that's used in Mexico for, I will say, a-hole Americans? Are you just going to move to another country and then just be all salty because you can't read any of the signs, or be salty because you have to always use Google Translate? And listen, I speak Spanish, and when I'm in Spanish speaking countries, I still use Google Translate. Okay. I started learning Spanish in 2019. I'm probably like 70% fluent, I'll say. I mean, I don't know if there's an actual test, but I mean, I can definitely hold my own whenever it comes to Spanish, and I still have to use Google Translate sometimes. So ask yourself, if you are trying to move somewhere where English is not the native language, how much work are you willing to put in to learn the language? Because that's going to be so important in terms of breaking down barriers and breaking down the walls and disarming people whenever, like mentally, not actually, but like disarming people whenever it comes to being in their country, right? Like showing them that, hey, I care enough that I'm going to actually try to speak the language. Spanish is easier to learn versus Korean and Japanese, 100%. I mean, because Spanish is so much like English. And they say that Spanish, Italian, and French are similar. But that's one reason I love Latin America, is because I can speak Spanish. It makes my life easier being able to speak Spanish. Like, y'all, I love Thailand. And can you be in Thailand and not speak Thai? Yes, you can. But if I'm going to plan to be there long term, I'm not going to go there and not try to learn the language. But as of right now, I'm like, listen, baby, I need the regular alphabet. Okay? I need the regular alphabet. I think Portuguese is hard. But I will say, whenever I was in Brazil, I was surprised. I thought there would be more people who did speak English in Brazil. I was surprised how many people didn't. But even the people in Brazil who only spoke Portuguese, they could understand my Spanish. Once you learn Spanish, Japanese is a lot easier. Is that a joke, or are you being for real? Because what? Because what? Interesting. Well, speaking of Japanese, I actually am gonna go live with a friend of mine she lives in Germany. She's Romanian, but she also speaks Japanese, and we're gonna actually talk about. If you've been following me, you may have seen I've been doing like interviews lately, talking to other people who travel, and I'm doing an interview with a girl who learned Japanese, so she's going to talk about some of her language learning tactics. Portuguese and Spanish are very similar. Yeah, they are, but speaking it is not, because the accent in Portuguese is so different. I'm Latino. I have lived in Japan. Oh, okay, Manny, I really couldn't tell. I have never heard that in my entire life. I mean, I've also never tried to learn Japanese. Now, granted, I do watch a lot of anime, but I've never tried to learn Japanese. I probably won't because like Japan is not a place that I would personally like. I wouldn't live in Japan. It's not really my style. I love Japan for visiting, but I wouldn't live there. But that's really interesting. Take care, girly. See you later. I love attainment. But yeah, please be willing to learn a new language, y'all. Please. If you are wanting to move to a country and English is not one of their native languages, please learn the language. And then last but not least, the last question is the only reason you want to move abroad because it's cheaper? Because if so, please stay your ass in the United States. Moving abroad only because it's cheaper is not a good enough reason. It's not. Do not go into another country with this superior mindset of, well, I'm gonna just go here because my dollar can stretch further. And living is cost of living a great reason for living abroad? Yeah. For it to be one of your reasons, sure. But for it to be your only reason, no. No. Do not leave the US just so you can go live a cheaper life, because that mentality alone is one of the reasons why US Americans have such a bad reputation. And it's why so many countries and cultures outside of the US are suffering today because of US Americans who go abroad with the mentality of, well, I'm gonna just go here and run up all this money because I can. There are so many more important reasons to go into somebody else's country other than because you just want to live a cheap life. And I really try to even avoid the word cheap. I really try to say like affordable, less expensive, because when you think about it, like the word cheap, it's a negative word. Like nobody wants to be called, you don't want to be called cheap. You don't want anybody calling you cheap. And if you do, you real cheap. I love when I make myself laugh. But why not? Living life, why not what? What I mean is English to Japanese is hard, but once you speak Spanish, Japanese enunciation. Ah, okay. Hello, cauliflower. I want my kids to experience more than what is here. See, and honestly, that's absolutely the big piece of it, y'all, is this really comes down to wanting to experience life outside of the United States. And this is whether you want to live abroad for a year, the rest of your life, 6 months, whatever it is. Going to do it only for the money, it's not even going to have you in the right mindset when you get there. Because a lot of these places, like, they don't want you just running to them because their stuff is cheaper. And don't be going to these places talking all loud like, oh my God, this is so cheap. Like, be respectful to other people. Just because you have or make more money than them does not give you the right to treat them any differently. It does not give you the right to disrespect their culture. It doesn't give you the right to be walking through a market talking about how cheap something is, or going somewhere being all loud. Like, listen, having that mentality of, well, I'm gonna just move here because it's cheaper, that is a fast track to being in the group of people who are contributing to this negative reputation that US Americans already have. If living in another country is not something that you feel in your spirit, if it's not something you feel called to do outside of just money, stay in the US. Take a trip. Go visit and bring your butt back home. But do not uproot your entire life from the United States and go live in another country just because it's possible for your rent to be $500 a month or $1,000 a month. That is not the mentality you need to have whenever you are going to live in another country. Life is about so much more than money. Take it from somebody who took a significant pay decrease, okay? I said increase. Oh, manifest it. Let's get it. Take it from somebody who quit their big girl corporate job. Take it from somebody who quit their 6-figure job because they realized that there was more to life than money. It's not just about the money. It cannot be just about the money. It has to be about your quality of life. It has to be about the experiences you want to have. It has to be about the new people you want to meet and connect with. This is what your living abroad journey needs to center around, not just the money. Why not move to Japan, in your opinion? Girl, from what I saw, and I was only in Tokyo, Osaka, and Kyoto. Let me put that out there. There are a lot of parts of Japan I've never been to. But Japan is just too buttoned up for me. Like a lot of places you can't eat on the streets, you can't eat on the trains. Like people don't even talk. It's just too quiet for me. Like it doesn't really align with my personality. Like I said, it would be a cool place. It's a cool place to visit. Like Japan is a place that I would visit for the rest of my life, but I'm definitely more of like a Thailand girly. Thailand is more, it's just more of like a free, like a kind of like a freedom type atmosphere. And that's in my opinion. There are a lot of people who went to Japan and they absolutely love it. The things that I just mentioned, there are people who love that about Japan. So it really is just like a personality thing. It's nothing against Japan. Hello, MJ. Korea and Japan are where I'm applying to teach. That's so dope. I still want to go to Korea. Me and my husband definitely want to visit South Korea at some point, and we want to go back to Japan. We'll get there. We will get there eventually. But yeah, so those are the 5 questions that you want to consider before you move abroad. Are you a Karen? How bougie are you? Are you willing to learn a new language? Are you going only for the cost? And how well traveled are you? Ask yourself these 5 questions. Thank you so much for the gift. Ask yourself these 5 questions before you go and uproot your life and live in another country. And like I said, there's so many different ways you can test it out. For those of you who haven't grabbed it yet, or for those of you who are newer in here, my Move Abroad bundle is in my bio. It's going to be in there for the next few minutes. Grab it while you can, because I'm about to take it back out, and use that promo code ABROAD2025. If you want to move abroad and you don't know where to start, if you feel like this life is not possible for you, if you've been wanting to move abroad but you have fear, you're like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'm doing this by myself. What about my kids? Which is the best place for me to move to? Where am I going to find housing? What about my health insurance? How am I going to move my pets? How am I going to make money while I'm abroad? What if I'm LGBTQ+? What if I am a veteran? All of this stuff and so much more comes in the Move Abroad bundle. I created this bundle based on the questions that y'all have asked me, and y'all have been asking me questions since last year, and I'm constantly updating my product. So if you, her bundle is so worth having. Thank you so much, MJ. So y'all, if you are serious, the bundle is at the link in my bio, TJ. It says I just put it in there. It's the first link when you go in there. Once you hit the link in my bio, when you scroll down, it'll be the first thing that says the Move Abroad bundle, and just make sure you use that promo code so you get the deal for the additional 50% off. Y'all, this life is possible for you. I grew up black and broke. There's no reason for me to be able to live this life other than the fact that I was willing to take the leap. And I'm not saying that it's going to be easy. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, because there will be, you're so welcome. There are going to be things that happen. That's just life. But the question is, are you going to move through it anyways? Because y'all, we're not getting out of this life alive. Like, we're not. You only get to do this one time. Are you really going to continue to watch all these other people do the thing that you want to do and let fear hold you back? You have saved enough videos on TikTok about moving abroad. You have sent enough of these videos to your friend. It's time for you to take action. If you don't know where to start, if you need some guidance, this is why I created the Move Abroad bundle. It is 21 pages, a 21-page PDF on all things moving abroad. And then there's a 12 video series. Y'all, I'm not playing. If you thought this live was helpful, there are 12 of these. There are 12 of these videos that come in the bundle. It's basically an entire course. And it's literally, I'm literally giving it away for less than what you're putting in your gas tank to fill it up every week. Listen, at the end of the day, you know what they say, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. But it really breaks my heart that so many people are like, oh my God, you're living my dream. And oh my God, I want to do this so bad. I really want to experience living abroad. And I'm like, then what are you doing? Then what are you doing? If you want this experience, give yourself this experience. You are worthy of creating this life that you want, and you are so capable. Y'all, I live my life with so much intention, because one day I woke up and I was like, I'm tired of life happening to me. I'm tired of feeling like a victim. I'm tired of complaining about all the things that I wish I had, and I started making them happen. If you would have told me 5, 6, 10 years ago that I was going to be living abroad, I probably would have looked at you like you were crazy. But you know what? Some of y'all watching this video right now, you have been wanting this for years. Some of y'all watching this video for now, you already know this is something that your spirit is calling you to do. So stop giving into the self-doubt. Stop giving into the excuses, because listen, baby, If the absolute worst case scenario was that you moved abroad for 6 months or a year or 2 years and you decided that you want to come back to the US, do you understand how powerful that is? We underestimate the power of doing what we say we are going to do. This is how you boost your self-confidence. This is how you really get what you want in life, by committing to yourself and sticking to your commitments. People look at me and they don't see the backstory. You have no idea what I had to go through to get to where I am today. This is why I go live, to show y'all, to share my story, to let you know that I am no different from you. I'm a girl who grew up lower middle class in North Carolina. I don't have educated parents. I don't have a trust fund. I don't have some big fancy corporate job, and yet I still live a life where I don't dread Mondays. Y'all, I don't mind Mondays. I will wake my butt up on a Monday just as happy as if it were Friday. I'm not spending 40, 50, 60 hours a week at a job that I hate. I'm not permanently living in a country where I feel unsafe because of the color of my skin. And the reason I live this life is because I was willing to take the leap. It's because I was willing to get out of my comfort zone. Extraordinary things will never happen inside of the comfort zone. If y'all don't take anything away from this, your best life, the life that you keep fantasizing about, the life and all these videos you keep saving, they're on the other side of your comfort zone. You so scared of what somebody else is gonna say. You over here worried about this person that don't support your journey. You're over here worried about what somebody's gonna say about this country. Who cares? We're all dying alone. I don't care if somebody is holding your hand. We came into this world alone. We going out alone. Live your life for you, because time is fleeting, y'all. Time is fleeting. We're already, 2025 is about halfway gone. There is still time for you to learn how to move abroad if it's something that you are serious about. And if you don't know how, this is why I have the bundle. You can go to the link in my bio, invest $48. $48! And have a wealth of information. And if you don't want to get the bundle, whatever, don't get the bundle. Do the research yourself. Listen, this is the way I always look at it. You can spend time or you can spend money. If you want to go do the research on your own, do the research on your own, but take some action. Do yourself a favor and give yourself the life that you've been dreaming about. I know y'all hear that timer going off on that oven. Is that pot still on? Yes. Okay. The slow cooker was acting ghetto yesterday. All right, y'all. I'm about to get up off of here, but per the usual, thank y'all for joining. For those of you who already got the bundle, thank you for your business. For those of you who are on the fence, y'all, I ain't preaching no more, okay? Either you're serious about this life or you're not. Either 6 months, 1 year, 3 months from now, you're going to be living abroad or you won't be. The decision is obviously up to you. The resource is there. The Move Abroad bundle is at the link in my bio. Use that promo code ABROAD2025 for that additional 50% off. And yeah, and for those of you who have the bundle, let me know if y'all, the fence would fall. Let me know if y'all have any questions. Happy Friday, y'all. I'm about to get up off here, but I'll see y'all later. Oh, make sure you hit follow if you have not already. Pretty please. Bye, y'all.